friends, welcome back to my channel. It is spooky season and it is one of my most favorite time of the year. My bad, this video will be out at the end of Spooktober, but hopefully you guys will still watch because I think it's still a fun video. I love any and every reason to celebrate, and I love themed parties, so I thought I would make a video for Spooktober. In this video, I'll share some Halloween themed arts and crafts, a costume that I made, and fun Halloween themed snacks we made this year. Okay, so the first themed activity I did this month was to paint like mini pumpkins with my dear friend. It was such a zen night. We each got 2 little pumpkins and we painted them, and it was less messy, and I just don't like the icky innards of pumpkins, and I like painting, so I thought let's paint pumpkins. Look how cute they turned out. Oh my god. Okay, so the next one I did was black and white paintings. I really enjoyed making. I kind of went down a rabbit hole before I settled on painting this. I think that's very common with artists. We just like scroll for inspiration, and then we end up not doing anything. Scroll of doom. But I've been doing a lot less of that more recently, and I think the trick is to just do it, just start, right? So anyways, I just googled Halloween wall art, and then I kept clicking until I found a few that I liked. I've linked down below the ghost one that I used as a reference, but I could not for the life of me find the exact one that I used as reference for the skeleton peace sign. So just know that it's not my own design, but these are so cute. I had so much fun painting the negative spaces, and it's something that I had not tried before. I came home from work and I plopped down on the ground and I started painting these, so forgive me, I do not have process videos. Great segue here, but I do have process video for a cape that I sewed from scratch. I've sped up the video times 4 speed, so it looks like I did it really fast, but in reality I did it over 2 days. How many hours, I'm not sure. So I'm going to link down below the YouTube video that I followed along to make this cape. Honestly, it was just a lot of adapting as I went, and like on the fly decisions, which is usually how I do things. The tutorial I followed was for a children's cape, but I made one for an adult, so yes, a lot of adapting. The first thing I did was tape a bunch of papers together to make a pattern. This is the same size paper that I used to paint the ghosts and the skeleton hands, so like most things, I winged it. I eyeballed it and said, let's go. So how do I know how to do this much? Like, once when I was in the 12th grade, I sewed all my family members Christmas pajama bottoms, and then for prom I sewed my own prom dress. Sorry, I don't have pictures, but trust me, I did. It wasn't done very nicely, so you're not missing out on much. But yeah, my sister-in-law really helped me through the whole process. She had sewn her own prom dress, so it was nice to have her like guide me through it. And she used to sew Halloween costumes for my nephews when they were little, but understandably so, she stopped after the 3rd child. It's kind of not like it was just too time consuming to make everyone Halloween costumes. Anyways, so when COVID hit, I was like, I'm going to start sewing again. So when COVID hit, I was in my last year university, so some time had passed. I was like, I'm gonna start sewing again. So I got a sewing machine off of Facebook Marketplace. I think it was like $75. And I tried to sew for a little bit then, but then I haven't really sewn since I like had a little hiccup with the thread not stitching properly. So this is why I had to buy only one piece of fabric, the yellow one you'll see later in the video. I got it from Fabricland for like $7 and black thread at like $2 for 50% off. And I already had like all the other materials. So for the cape, I used curtains, black curtains. I used to never be able to sleep with any light, so I always had dark or black curtains. So I had these curtains all throughout high school, and they're so faded where the sun was hitting it. Does anyone have like this sentimental, weird attachment to everything? Like, yeah, I definitely have this like deep sense of attachment to inanimate objects. I'm not sure why, and I'm not sure if it's a good thing or if it's a bad thing. Maybe it just is. Anyways, so the reason I even decided to make this cape in the first place was actually we ordered a black and yellow cape off of Amazon, and I opened the package and it was literal garbage. Sorry, what? I don't have pictures, I'm sorry. It was so bad. The yellow was so ugly, and it was like very poorly made, and it sat very poorly on the shoulder, and it was an overall no. So I was like, yeah, I'll just make it myself. And I was thinking like, do we even need a cape? But I didn't want to half-ass a costume in the spirit of going all out. Yeah, so I used the paper pattern to cut out the black, and then used the black to cut out the yellow, and the last step before stitching was to face the outside pieces together and then pin them together. The cuts didn't really align perfectly, but again, I wasn't really focused on making it perfect. Whatever I was doing was already better than that shit off of Amazon. So I watched a YouTube video on how to thread a needle, and it always comes down to just sitting down and taking time to learn it. Because I hadn't touched that sewing machine for 4 years, and it was like, nah, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna learn how to thread this machine today. And I did, because that's all it took. It took one YouTube video. Granted, I watched it a couple of times, but that's fine. So this is your sign to do that thing that you've been procrastinating about. Do it. Do the thing. You'll get better in time. The goal is never to be perfect from the get-go. It gets better each time, you know? It takes so much pressure off when you have that mindset, and it makes things so much more enjoyable. I love everything. I love most of the things that I do. I just find so much more enjoyment in the things that I set out to do now that I have that mindset. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. I noticed I've been making better art. I've just been happier with the things that I'm doing, the things that I'm trying, the things that I'm learning. It's great. There were some hiccups along the way. The thread was not threading properly, and I remember this happened the last time during lockdown, and I don't know why. It was so frustrating for me at the time, and it was so frustrating that I just stopped sewing altogether. And this time it was just a matter of YouTubing how to fix it, and it was such an easy fix. And I think this really speaks to like how little issues can feel grand when you're not in a good headspace. So I'm not really sure why it was so frustrating the first time I encountered this problem. Anyways, I fixed it. It was an easy fix. So when I was done with the sewing of the black and yellow pieces, I wanted to put on snap buttons. This is the downside of not thinking things through before I cut off too much fabric at the end, and I wasn't really able to sew the ends shut like in a clean way. So I'm sure it was enough space for a skilled sewer, but I'm not, so I ended up just gluing the ends, and there were glue stains one where the fastener was, but I said, wow, great personality this cape has. So the cape was for a Robin costume from Teen Titans. I also put together the fit. I bought the yellow and black felt from a dollar store, and I made the design for the top. I'm actually so proud of this. My mom was also proud of me, so look how great it turned out. It's so cute. So obviously this was not my costume. I was Starfire from Teen Titans. I'm not posting my costume because it was a little too. We also had Halloween themed snacks, and it came out so cute. Like there was a lot of like Instagram reels that we went through to decide which ones to make, and I love Halloween. So next year I'll try to plan ahead and release the Spooktober video sooner. But I'm sorry, and I love you all, and I'll see you next time.